Hum, mum, mum, mum. Hum, mum, 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 mum. Hum, mum, 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 mum. Hum, mum, 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 mum. Make sure when you start the phrase, you have breathed for the highest note in that phrase, because we're moving up now into the area where voices change. So you want to make sure you've given it enough space and possibility. Excuse my piano playing. Use a H at the beginning of the sound, and then make sure that the breath stays consistent, the consistent support throughout the rest. So just one more time. You can hear in my voice that that's going into the change register, and I wasn't well prepared for it. So if you're doing this yourself, you might want to go through that register either in an up or in a down pattern, just to help yourself try to smooth that out. So now we're going to do yaw. Again, put an H before the yaw. Yaw, yaw, yaw. Yaw, yaw, yaw. Make sure your jaw is loose. Yaw, yaw, yaw. And that the Y of the yaw lifts the upper palate. Yaw, yaw, yaw. Yaw, yaw, yaw. This is getting lower for some of the lower voices, but the higher voices can pay attention to make sure that you're keeping a lot of quality sound in those lower notes. Yaw, yaw, yaw. Okay, and then one more. The words are money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. That's the pattern. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Once again, we want to breathe high for that first note because it's the high note in the phrase. Money, 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 money. 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 All right, that's close to about 8 minutes, and we can move on. But those are ones you can use yourselves going forward into the week. Thank you.
Thank you, Marion. That was good. That was good. And then I realized how much I need that. I don't know. Anybody else noticing that? That we're needing this. Okay, so I'm going to have Carol get started, and I'm going to jump in every now and again. So Carol, you go right ahead. Let me know what you need me to do.
Alrighty. So as Sally said, what we're talking about this week, I don't know if we ever really explained how we've been doing things so far this summer, that we're going through the holiday music, but also using it because we can't really sing it too much together. Really use it as a chance to work on different kinds of skills. So we worked on character, we worked on storytelling. So this week we're going to be talking about internal sync, and we talk a lot about synchronization, and we often talk about beginning together and ending together, and those are definitely the goalposts. We need those in place in order to sing together. Once we do that pretty well, and we do that pretty well, we need to pay closer attention to synchronizing the insides of the words. So that includes, we talk about sometimes diphthongs can be an example of something that we talk about for internal sync. Where do we turn those? Where do we change those? So what Sally and I were looking at today are the words that are common to both songs. We're going to be looking at White Christmas and Carol and Caroling. I'll probably spend more time on White Christmas because we can really massage the word sounds with a ballad a little more. But really, really paying attention to just how many distinct sounds there are in the words that we sing. We tend to talk about whole words or we talk about syllables, but every one of those words, every one of those syllables has more sounds that make up the syllables. And if we're being more mindful of all the sounds that we make, then we're more likely to actually put them all together. So Sal, just for giggles, let's look at the sheet that you made up for us. And Sally made up a page of the words that are common to both songs, and there actually aren't that many. Sally, you really need folders. Seriously, you need
I wonder why. Well, it's all work. It's all works in progress.
You seriously need folders.
Yeah.
Okay, so first word in common there is snow, right? A word we know well. How many syllables in the word snow? Just one. How many sounds involved in the word snow? Right, we've broken it out, right? The s, n, o, u. So we have the diphthong is two different sounds. We sing them together. So if we were to really emphasize all the sounds in that word, we would never sing it this way, but you could sing through all the sounds and go ahead and do it. You can mute or not, but we're going to go snow, right? That's 4 separate sounds. Do it just that slowly. Snow, right? 4 different sounds. Now we're going to close it in a little bit. Still 4 sounds, but let's do them a little faster. Snow, right? A little faster. Snow. And then it almost gets closer and closer. So let's say it as a word now, but be mindful of all those 4 sounds as they go by. Snow, right? Even if you say it quickly, snow, does it have more shape to it than it did before? I could say snow. That doesn't sound like much, but I could say snow. Does it sound different? Did it feel different? Okay, so that's what we're talking about here. And if we can all be mindful of all those sounds, then we're more likely to get all the different contour together. So next word, which is of course we say a lot in all of our songs just about this time of year, right? 2-syllable word, right? Christmas, right? And how many times do we harp on how long is the vowel and where are the consonants? Especially because we have the consonants in the middle and at the end, right? How much tone is in the S in the middle? How much tone can you make in an S? None. Unvoiced, okay? So we need to pay attention to the vowels. But if we go all the way down, we go from one word, right? 2 syllables, Christmas. And actually, if we wanted to do the phonetics so that we would pronounce it more together, we'd put the S on the next syllable. That's sort of a trick we use. But now look at all the individual word sounds. Okay, a lot more sound. We think of it as a 2-syllable word, but there's more individual sounds in that word. So let's walk through them. It's going to be painful. Do it slowly. K, I, s, right? How many of us think about that as a word with 7 distinct sounds in it? Not often, okay? So do it just that slowly. K, I, s, s. Yeah. A little bit faster, but still all the sounds. Christmas. A little faster. Christmas. Yes? Do you feel how that feels different than we may typically sing it? Put it all together as one long connected word. Christmas. Yes? Makes sense? We hear it a little differently. So when we go, as we're singing all of these songs, having an ear for where the sounds are and where they fit will help us it also helps us put more articulation of the sounds, but also it gives us more places to put emotions.
Carol, if I could interrupt for a second,
please.
there's also, you know how we get sounding like a bunch of a snake pit.
Uh-huh.
Christmas, you know, and
Uh-huh.
people are shortchanging the vowel,
Right.
and that's what we need. Christmas. You know,
Correct.
so
Correct.
that
Yeah.
we can
We
avoid
need,
the
yeah.
snake pit.
Yeah. So the vowel is what carries the tone. The vowel is where we make our chords. The vowel is where all the music is happening, right? The vowels carry the music, the consonants carry the message. So we need to extend the vowels as long as possible. We sing Christmas, right? But I could take those, if I'm not paying attention to all the word sounds, it might sound Christmas, right? With nice long vowels, but the rest of the word isn't very interesting. But if I said Christmas, did it sound different? Try doing that both ways. Do it with just equal thinking about the vowels, but not thinking about all the parts of the word, just elongating the vowels. And it would be Christmas, right? Say that again, Christmas. Now put all the turns in there. It's the same, it's not any longer. Put all the sounds in it now. Christmas. Does it feel different? I can only see a few faces. Yes. Makes sense? This is the very beginning of a longer conversation, but just getting the idea that there are more sounds in there that we can use. Steve Tramack always talks about finding more beauty or giving the sounds more love, right? We need to fill in those vowels, but if we give all the sounds a little more love, we put more texture in the sound. And we're more likely to get more of our expression will be more unified if we all have the same numbers of sounds in mind. Yes, makes sense? Smile and nod. Somebody say something. The only thing about being on Zoom is that you feel like you're talking into a black hole.
Well, we're supposed to be muted.
Yes, I know, but and you can mute and comment and then come back. But yeah, so does this make sense as a place to start? So Sally, we had, you want to try singing through? Oh, you're so good. Just like magic. So let's sing the beginning of White Christmas. And the first time, sing it sort of like you've always done, right? You're still singing well, you're still using good posture, and you're still using good expression, but try just singing the words as they would be written on the page. Thank you, Sally. And everybody, you can unmute if you want, although will not be all together. Good. Do again. Good. All right. Everybody have sense for what that sounds like and what that feels like. Okay. Now try it again. Just pay a little more attention to more word sounds in Christmas. And then what we'll do is we'll have a couple of people unmute because we can't do everybody, but we also want you to be able to hear the difference with more than just Sally or me singing. Okay. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Did it feel different? Feel free to unmute yourselves.
There's more substance to the word. There's more present.
Yeah.
Yeah, energy and kind of forward motion to it.
Did you
got more body to it too?
Yeah. Did you feel like you had to slow it down to put all those sounds in there?
No, you really don't.
No. It's just a different way of thinking about the words, right? We we take it apart and put it back together again, right? We want to not overanalyze too many little details, but starting there gives us a little bit different texture. Yeah, good thoughts. I like the people's comments that it gave it more space, more presence. Yeah, cool. Okay, so let's do.
You want me to do some caroling?
Sure.
All right, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
here we go.
So same word, right? We're gonna do.
Christmas bells are ringing.
Yeah. So gosh, we have to pick one, don't we? Let's see which one you picked there, so.
Oh, what do you mean? Sorry.
Because we sing those words so many times, where is that?
Right in the beginning, measure 9. Right in the beginning.
Oh, right at the beginning. Okay, yeah, good.
Right at the verse, caroling now we go, Christmas bells are ringing.
Yeah, and we use that as the intro now anyway, right?
Yeah.
So let's just do it. So do the intro. The Christmas bells are ringing. Christmas bells are ringing. First time, just the way you've been singing it. Still all your good singing, but without particular attention to the word sounds. And Christmas bells are ringing. Christmas bells are ringing. Okay? Clearly, I'm not terribly warmed up. And that's not even terribly low. Yikes. Okay, now again, with paying attention to the word sounds, particularly the word sounds in the word Christmas, but there's a little hint there. We didn't really talk through bells, you know that it's there. But Christmas in particular, and see if you can find more word sounds in the other words too. And Christmas bells are ringing, Christmas bells are ringing. Yeah, how did that feel?
It's interesting to put the L in bells. That's very unusual.
Mm-hmm. Which is, you'd think it's a sound that we would actually say, don't you think?
I would usually run through it. Christmas bells are ringing.
Yeah.
Instead, Christmas bells are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I notice how you have to connect the sounds to the next word.
Yes.
Bells are, you know.
Yes.
Who
Yeah.
was it that told us to sing the L? We put our tip of our tongue to our back of our teeth
Yes.
with bells.
Yes. And less tongue. That was I don't remember who gave us that. The American L versus the Italian L.
Yeah.
Right? If you say bell the way you normally would speak it, try it. Say bell. Where do you feel your
Bell.
tongue?
Right.
Bell.
When you say, if you would just say the word, where do you feel your tongue contacting your teeth when you say the word bell?
In the middle of my tongue.
Do you? When you speak?
Bell. Bell.
It's the top of behind my front teeth.
Yeah. Most Americans, when you say the word bell, if you really think about it, you feel your tongue touching really all the way around your front teeth and maybe up onto your hard palate. Bell. We use more of our tongue. Whereas if you say, as if you were saying it in Italian, bella, where does the L? If you say bella, like you were saying it in Italian, exaggerated.
Bella. Bella.
Right? If you were imitating an Italian accent, you said bella, where did your tongue go that time?
Just touched the tip, just touches the right behind
Yeah,
the
you feel the
teeth.
difference? So try the 2 in a row. Say bell, and then say bella.
Bella.
Bell.
Huh.
Bell.
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 Bella.
I think I say them the same way.
Do you?
Bell.
It could be. I mean, everybody speaks.
I do too.
But but the idea is for some of us, our speaking voice, when we say the sound L, there's much more contact with the tongue, and so it takes longer. It takes just a little bit more time. So if you use a lighter L with just the tip of your tongue, it rolls through faster. So even if we're using this bells and really rolling it into the next one, it doesn't, there's less compression, there's less tension in the sound. So it's just a little bit less,
Yeah,
less muscle in the tongue that
I
way.
found that doing the Italian, it's my tongue was more pointed.
Yes.
And just lightly touched the back of my teeth.
Yes.
But another way that it's been described to me is to chew the words, Christmas bells, but you want to not use your jaw, Christmas bells,
Right.
like a wide mouth frog, you know. So, but like to get all of those sounds in there.
Yeah.
So,
We do all those exercises we say the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue, right? It's all here. So if you we do all those over enunciation exercises. It's not about your jaw, it's about your lips, right? So you could put a thumb under here and say Christmas, right? Emphasize all those sounds, but without moving your jaw. Christmas, right? Do you feel how much it has to happen in your lips? Right? I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Try it. Try it with a thumb under your chin till you really feel how much you want to move it. Can you articulate even more without moving your chin and still be very clearly understood? How many people for that is a total revelation how much you want to move your jaw? Yeah. So the idea of chewing the words and saying all the sounds is just another way to get at it. But I would just be wary about thinking about chewing from the jaw, right? Because that's something that for many of us, that's too much. Good. So, yeah.
Do we have some volunteers to demonstrate, singing all of the word sounds in I'm dreaming, or
Yeah.
we can have volunteers to sing it, or we could maybe we should talk about first, like if we took I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, what are all the sounds in each of those words?
Mm-hmm. How many word sounds in the word I'm? Yep.
What do we got?
3.
Yeah.
3, I-E-M,
Mm-hmm.
I'm. Okay.
or I-E-M, as we do it here.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How about dreaming? I got 6.
Wow.
I got 5.
You got 5?
5.
Anybody else? We can unmute.
Yeah, I got the 6.
I got 6.
6.
You got
I
6?
got 5.
D-R-E-ing.
Yep.
Wow.
Remember to separate out the consonants. So we say the DR as a cluster, but they're really separate sounds, right? At least in the exercise. Ming.
Yeah, I got 6 that time.
Yeah.
How about okay, let's quit. How about white? Let's go to white. What are we hearing there?
4.
4.
I got 4.
I got 4.
Mm-hmm.
4.
Anybody want to share what they are?
Ooh, I eat.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
U-I-E-T.
White.
Mm-hmm.
White. Okay, so now we want volunteers to, you could just speak. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas using all of those 5 word sounds. Any volunteers? Before I pick on you?
Reminds us of school.
Yeah, right. That's right. Everybody take a step backward.
Tough to do on Zoom.
Yeah, yeah,
Better
it
to
is.
volunteer.
I'll give it a go.
Okay, good.
So, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, Emily, go through it a little faster, but still caressing your word sounds.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
All right. Good. Okay. Now, so now if we put that to music, anybody want to volunteer to actually sing that?
And remember that the vowel, the sound on is on the word is going to be not a, because we don't sing it as a.
Right.
Whoever's next, right?
Anybody? Any volunteers?
I'll try it.
Okay. Good, Bev.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Did people hear her turning those sounds?
I don't think I hit them all.
Yeah, I'm not sure you got the
I think you
diphthong on
just-
white, but the rest of them were good.
What, Marion?
I wasn't sure you got the diphthong on white, but the rest of them were good. You got the start of the hua for.
I heard that too. Give it another go, Bev.
Okay. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Nice. Nicer white
Yeah.
instead of white. Which
It's
is
a
what
lot
we're
of-
likely to do.
It's a lot of sounds, but you got them all in the timing that we normally sing it.
Right? Anybody else want to give it a try? How about another part? Too bad we can't duet on this.
I know.
Oh, that's right, too.
Yeah. Anybody else? Come on.
All right, I'll give you a lead if no one else will.
Oh, thank you, Christina. All right.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Very good. Very good.
Did you hear the Christina gave just a little more ooh at the beginning of white, and that gave it a different shape. Right? Bev, you had all the sounds in there too, but Christina gave just a little more love to that initial ooh, which gave it a little more color.
Yeah. And what
Well,
we
that's
can
a-
do- if we
That's the thing. That's the thing that needs to be synced across the group. How much ooh to give to it, right?
right.
Yeah.
And that's the internal sync that shows up on our contest evaluations a lot. Is that, we might be attacking the words at the same time, but how we're all treating the insides of those words is the area of concern. All right. What else we got, Carol? Anything else?
Let's see. Well, we could do a little bit on caroling, or let's have a couple of volunteers do a couple of phrases from caroling, just to get the do this idea of word sounds in a faster song, because the words go by a little faster. So thinking about it, how that goes, and then maybe we'll do a little bit on. Do you want to jump into doing a little bit with personal breathing too? Because we
Sure,
talked
if you'd
about that as
Yeah.
our other thing for tonight.
Yeah.
People are getting the idea on this, and it's just something to keep working on individually, I think,
Right.
than talking over this too much. Okay, so do we have some volunteers for Christmas Bells Are Ringing?
And you can, take a look, and you can look at it like now and go, there's quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, kids. Come on, Nancy.
Okay.
Oh, good girl. All right.
Christmas bells are ringing. Didn't get the H and the L's for the
Okay,
L.
try it again.
I was trying to remember the
You did a good job.
a lot.
Christmas bells are ringing. Christmas bells. You get that L in there. Okay.
Yeah, and also, Nan, you mentioned the H. There really isn't an H in the word bells, but I wanted to make sure that you knew it was an EH vowel, not an E vowel. So that's not that H is not itself a word sound.
Okay. Now, and also, let's speed it up a little. See
Yeah.
how we can get the sounds going a little faster.
Christmas bells are ringing.
Did you hear her L?
Mm-hmm.
What L? What the L? That was good. That was good, Nancy. Okay, how about in the verse? Somebody want to do caroling, caroling now,
There you go.
now we go. We got lots of other people to sing in there. Haven't heard from the tenor lately.
You want to hear the interesting tenor part there?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Caroling, caroling, now we go.
Well done. Well done. And did you hear her go?
Mm-hmm.
You know, excellent.
Well, if you don't have a lot of notes, you have time to think about the word.
That's almost as good as a baritone part.
Yeah. So let me challenge you, Becky, to put a little more. We didn't talk about the word caroling. Let's see if we can get a little more sound in the R's and the L's and the word sounds in the word caroling, because you did go and snow very nicely. What else you can pull out of that?
Caroling, caroling, now we go.
Nice. I like that. L's, caroling, you know, and what I heard is ling, you know, it kind of gave it a brighter caroling, caroling, you know, it kind of gave a brighter sound to it, to me.
It also seemed that using the R in carol gave the word some tempo, some rhythm.
Very good. Anybody else want to give it a try before we move on?
I thought AC was volunteering before.
Oh, yes. Let's have AC.
Oh dear.
She
Thanks,
wasn't.
Megan.
She is now.
Christmas bells are ringing.
Okay, Chris. That's a good part.
Uh,
How about
All right.
caroling, caroling, now we go? I think we have
Okay.
more word sounds in that phrase.
all right. Caroling, caroling, now we go.
Go. Good. I wish we could put all of this together on this
I know.
list. Really. But we could try this on the 12th, right? We could be out there in the sunshine singing the holiday songs. All right. Well, thank you, volunteers. I think we beat this horse.
Nice work.
So let's move on to a couple of other things.
Yeah. So the other thing that the other skill that we were going to talk a little bit about tonight is personal breathing, which we have beaten up many times over as well. And Marion has her great exercise that she does with that. But we wanted to take a quick look at these songs and consider the places where you might need personal breaths, and for those that feel like this is still there's like a secret to it, how do you make choices, strategic choices of the words that you choose for personal breaths? So let's start with White Christmas because it's a ballad and the phrases are longer. Most of the holiday songs actually don't usually have huge long phrases because they're traditionally songs sung in community. So we don't change the arrangements that much. We don't ask of ourselves that we sing huge long phrases. But let's find a couple. Sally, let's see. Where's mine? That's not it. Where am I? There we are.
I think there are longer phrases in the White Christmas, right?
Yeah. Let's start with that. Let's see. Let's just go from the top. Because normally we wouldn't all. There would be certainly no planned breaths for anybody before measure 8. And leads, you got to sneak one in there, right? Leads, get one before the pickup on the next phrase.
Yeah, we have a couple no breath zones, so we've got some long phrases.
Where are your no breath zones?
So we have the pickup in measure 8. So there's no breath between, just like the ones I used to know, where the tree tops glisten.
Good. So thank you for the example, Christina, because I was remiss in not figuring out places to check. So let's all sing lead, shall we? And everybody sing lead. And we're going to go all the way. Actually, there's no planned breaths in the lead and all the way till measure 16. Is that right?
Correct. Till measure 16, yep.
Okay. So, just for giggles, everybody sing lead and take a personal breath where you think it might be a good idea. Consider where it's going, where it's been, right? Consider the places that you decided to pick, and then we'll sort of talk through what people picked and how we might make a different choice. I'm dreaming of... Christine, I'm gonna let you lead. Sorry.
Great. All right.
I'm not warmed up enough to sing lead.
Yeah, not that I'm warmed up great either. Let's put my microphone on that ear and take my other one out so I can hear myself. All right, you folks are in for a treat if I'm singing this part with you. All right, pitch again, sorry. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the tops glisten and children send to hear sleigh bells, the snow in the snow.
Christina, you and I can never stand next to each other if I have to sing lead on this song.
Who else took the same personal breath I did?
Yeah, how many people took the same personal breath as Christina?
That's not good, Christina, because I took the only one we did was that last one together. So it's not so bad.
So it's okay to unmute if you've got to answer questions. Where were some places that you felt that you picked to take personal breaths?
I picked short words like to and and I.
Okay, and that's one strategy. Now, what happens if everybody in the room picks the same small words?
I would pick maybe like the Chris, like I would breathe on Chris, but then sing muss, you know, so half words.
Yeah, half words are definitely a different way to go. You're less likely to line up necessarily with your friends and neighbors. Yep.
That's what I did, Bev.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do tend to like the half notes sometimes. I didn't do them all there, but I like the half notes because it allows me time to sometimes expel my extra air and take in more. So it gives me that length.
Mm-hmm. Yes. What others? There are other sort of strategic things. Let's see. For those of us that are not normally leads, right? when we're going up to just like the ones, right? That's not a place that I would normally sing. So I might choose a personal breath ahead of that phrase in order to reset my space. So that's another strategic thing. If you have a line, if you have a note in your line that is either much higher or much lower, and you know you need to change your space, find a breath in the phrase before and change your space then.
My strategy is to not sing the highest note in the
There is that, but then you have to negotiate with the rest of your section that you don't all skip the same high note.
I picked that one.
But that is also, that's another strategy as well, is to know your voice, right? If I'm not a super low bass and I'm feeling sort of gravelly that night, and I know that I have other basses that sing more clearly than I do on the lowest notes, I might choose to leave out the lowest notes so that I have a better tone quality on the rest of a phrase. So those are different kinds of places you might choose. Places where you know you need more space. Small words. Anticipating places, right? Or if there's a note that your QE keeps saying that you have wrong, breath
there.
And avoiding the very first word in the phrase or the very last word.
Yes, because that usually that creates sync issues, right? That's why we have no breath zones. And you know that when we have a no breath zone, it's usually the words on either side of it, so that you don't have a breath anywhere near a space or where we want to continue with the line.
Putting these two skills that we're talking about together, the articulating the words, caressing each word sound, is going to take more energy and more air to do. So that's going to affect how you plan your personal breaths as well. So when you're rehearsing and you're doing, it's one thing to go, I'm dreaming of a, oh, okay, I got my notes. But if you're singing it as a performance and really, I'm dreaming of a white, each of those sounds, now that took more air out of, I needed a breath sooner than I usually do. So it helps for you to be rehearsing at the performance level, so that you know how much air you really are going to need.
Yeah, and I like your point, Sally, that when we're talking about massaging more word sounds, it takes more air because you need to have the same degree of support of all the sounds all the time, where we tend to pull back our sound on this word sounds that we don't articulate as much. So it does take more air support, more airflow, more continuous airflow. So yes, using more air along the way. Very good. Yes, good point. Good. Anybody else have a strategy that they use for picking personal breaths? Because we've come up with quite a few, and some of them might be new for some people, that it's not always leaving out the, because we can't all leave out the.
I guess always before you think you're going to need it.
Yes. And that's to Sally's point of, as much as you can, rehearse the way you perform so that you know how much air you use when you perform, right? Because otherwise your breath plan doesn't make any sense. And then when you get to the risers and you can sing with everybody else, and then you find out that the two people next to you have the same breath plan, and then you have to figure that out too. Yes. Good. Yeah. All right. So I found a similarly long spot for caroling, as long as we're trying to do a little bit of both songs.
Caroling, I find to be quite challenging for breath, because the song moves right along. The phrase, you're going along, caroling, now we go, Christmas bells are ringing, caroling, it just keeps going on. And there's a couple of phrases from a tenor point of view. I'm not sure what other people's lines go, but they head downward, and then you have to jump back up again. Joyous voices, sweet and clear. So that sweet and clear gets cut off every time. Sing the sad voice to cheer. Ding dong. You know, you're heading down, and that last note at the, I don't know if your phrases go down, but ours move down, and then I have to jump up to start the high note at the next phrase. And so those are challenging phrases.
Yeah. And that also, that's a good place to be thinking about how efficiently you breathe. All those exercises that we do where you expel all your air and then let the new air fall in, those are the kinds of breaths that you need in a place like that, where you need to use up that air and then that's where the tempo breathing comes in, which you also need, your personal breaths need to be in the same tempo, in the tempo of the song. But yeah, so that's a good point, Becky, because I always think of this song as being sort of phrase to phrase to phrase. There are lots of places to breathe, but you have to breathe well for it to work and for it to be in time. So I wonder if we could talk that. Yeah, so that actually, using the word sounds will help with that too, because if you sing joyous voices sweet and clear, sing, that last R is keeping the air moving forward. If I do joyous voices sweet and clear, sing, didn't get enough time for a good breath. So joyous voices sweet and clear, sing the sad of heart to cheer. You didn't hear a breath, but it was there because of the way I spoke that phrase, and we can speak those phrases too. So let's do that briefly, just to get that feel, because that's a point. Yeah. And then we'll do a section with personal breaths where there's a long section that nobody had. We have a nice big long no breath zone. So
not to just point her out or anything, but Beth, are you okay? I think she's still breathing, but I think she fell asleep.
Oh my goodness.
Beth?
She fell asleep a little while ago.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure she was still breathing. I couldn't quite tell.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm going to call her. And see if
Sally.
that'll wake her up.
Thank you.
Okay, so while Sally is taking care of keeping an eye on Beth, we should make sure she's okay. Thank you for spotting that, Christina.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure she's okay.
She's been asleep for a little while.
Okay. Right.
At first, her eyes and her head was just down. Now her head's back.
Yeah.
Christine Reese, don't you dare post that.
We woke her up, Sal, so that's good.
There you go.
At least we know she's alive, right?
Exactly. She moved. That's all I wanted to make sure of.
Just let her know we worried about her. We're okay. Good. All right. Good. We are nothing if not a chorus family. That is awesome stuff. Okay. So,
where's that long no breath point you had?
The long no breath spot, thank you for bringing me back to here, from before and after the key change. So it's actually 10 measures. We sang ding dong, Christmas bells are ringing, Christmas bells are ringing, caroling, right? That goes all the way through. The first next marked breath isn't till following yonder star, at least according to my notes. So let's sing that and figure out where your breaths are. And yeah, so yes, there, Sally, you there with a pipe?
Oh, she's.
I'm sorry. Yes.
That's okay. You were still on the phone.
I was still okay. So
So we're going to start singing at measure 37, which is the ding dong, Christmas bells are ringing before the key change. And we're singing all the way through to caroling near and far, Christmas bells are ringing before following. That's where we'll stop, because that's the no breath, no planned breaths, and no breath zone is the key change. And ding dong, Christmas bells are ringing, Christmas bells are ringing, Christmas bells are ringing. Yeah, that is a long, long stretch.
Nice tenor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not fun trying to make a learning recording when you can't take a breath there.
No, and thank you for those who do that. Been there. It is not easy. So where did people find their breaths or take their breaths? Anyone?
In the Christmas bells are ringing phrase, I think we say that phrase twice. I think I used are both in both phrases because it just was easier for me to remember that it was the same word in both phrases. Mm-hmm. And then I could, if I wanted to, I could expel air on one and take air on the other one because they're close enough together.
Good plan. Yeah, I was going to say that's a good suggestion, a good strategy overall in many of the songs we sing. One way to manage your breath planning is to have, if you have a repeated pattern, pick the same word when you can. Probably not on the hook of the song every time, but choosing the same word where it comes in the same phrase can be one strategy for planning ahead. Yeah, who else?
I think it's important, like right now, because we're starting, at least halfway through the song, you may not need the breath that you would if you have sung the first half of the song. Mm-hmm. I know, like right now, I could sing through most of this phrase, maybe get to the very, I wouldn't need a personal breath till like towards the end of it. But I know when I sing the whole song together, I need it before the key change. Otherwise, it's not a good key change.
Right. Yep. And again, planning for that so that you do have the breath management for the key change so that you have room for the space. Yes. Good. Yeah.
Carol, we need to look at the clock here.
Yes. I was just noticing your note here. Thank you very much. Okay. Any thoughts on either of these ideas, either of these concepts, how they relate to these songs, how they might fit with something else?
Okay, so in summary, while you're rehearsing, pay attention to caressing each of the word sounds. We've discovered how that helps with telling the story. It helps with forward motion. It's a worthwhile thing for you to practice of how to caress each of the sounds, and then how it affects our breathing.
And then, as Marion mentioned earlier, when we're all able to do all this together, then we can fine-tune how we treat those sounds in any given place. But if we all know where they all are, then we have the most flexibility to change it any way we want to.
Okay, everybody?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. This was...
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job. It's good to think through the songs a bit. Thank you.
Does anybody know how many people we have going on the 12th?
I know.
Becky knows.
Oh, is this not being announced?
No, right now I have 22 people confirmed.
That's
wow.
Which I figured we'd have a dozen or something, but we have 22 people confirmed. I still have about 5 or 6 people that have not responded.
I'm coming. I'll send you an email.
Just answer the survey.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry.
I will be sending out information mid next week, just to give everybody some final, not really instructions, but just some final information. But we should have a really good crowd there. Yeah, it'll be great
awesome.
to really be together.
Thank you, Becky, for spearheading this and organizing, and with Tricia Smith for her parking lot at
Yeah.
the church.
Right.
I think it speaks volumes to how this group still, after 6 months of this, wants to get together. And, and we appreciate you guys coming to tonight. It helps us to keep momentum going on coming up with things to do for our rehearsals. If you have any ideas, please contact us.
And so next week is, we have a guest.
Wendy.
Wendy Packer is coming next week.
Yep, Marion's organized that.
It should be fabulous. So encourage everyone to attend.
I talked with her about doing a class on rhythm. So if you want to have something around that you can hit, it might be helpful. I'm going to ask her if she wants us to bring something. She said we could do stuff just sort of kinesthetically. I think it's kind of more fun to have something to actually hit.
Husbands don't count.
Right. They don't make that much noise unless they're
Well, they
saying,
do, but it's usually not in rhythm. Yeah.
right.
It's the wrong key.
Right.
Thank you again, ladies.
Okay,
Right.
thank you,
job.
everybody. Have a safe weekend. We'll see you next week.
Sally,
Take care.
Before you leave,
Yes.
are you going to send the recording to me and then I will send Becky a link?
Sure.
Are you going to cut out anything, Beth?
What?
Are you going to cut out anything?
No, we don't cut out anything. We just,
You're falling asleep.
well, that I would love to cut that out because I was sort of going, oh, I've been in the sun. I've been, motioning around all day. But I wasn't
glad
as
you're
far,
okay.
I wasn't as far asleep as I looked, I'm sure. I was just sort of listening and my head was back, which is kind of too bad, but
Well, wait till
well.
you see the video.
Yeah.
I'll be amazed when I see the video. I really will. I should have turned the video off, then you never would have
I
known.
never would have known. That's right.
Well, just glad you're okay.
guys.
Have a good
I'm
Oh
night.
yeah, I'm fine. I'm just wiped out. That's all.
Yeah, too much sun. Gee, too bad. All right, guys.
Night all. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.